Welcome back and good morning, Central Oregon. One of the most successful animated stop-motion films of all time is Coraline. Joining me this morning, unit photographer from Leica Inc., which is the company that produced the film, is Galvin Collins. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to say I've known Galvin for ages. His dad, Gary, was our Good Morning Central Oregon director for a long time. Did you, when you were here, you were going to school, graduated from Mountain View, did you ever think you'd be working on major films like this?
Well, probably not, no. I was looking at getting a business degree, and I thought, you know, my dad has been into video for a long time, and
yes.
Been a part of this show, and then I've had a camera in my face since I was, you know, really young. So it kind of, after a while, just made sense that I would go into the entertainment industry. And you know, his love of cameras is, I think, genetic in a way. So
and legendary.
Yeah. So it kind of followed me, and you know, made that decision what I wanted to do, and ended up going to film school. So, and through the film school, I ended up making my way to Coraline.
And so you were the unit photographer for this picture.
Yes.
What does that mean? I'm
there on a day-to-day basis photographing people making the movie. So my job was hard in that I had to photograph people working harder than me. And so I had to be down there every day, taking pictures of animators posing puppets, and there's the whole movie is handmade. I mean, if you see a car in the movie, that car was made. The sets, the props, miniature phones, everything is handmade from scratch, basically, and heavily modified if they did find it in the real world. And so just capturing the people making those through stills, and I also did some video, and then time-lapse photography as well. So
I know your dad would email me when your pictures would end up like in newspapers or magazines. So a lot of what we saw in newspapers and magazines, the behind the scenes, the making of, those were your shots?
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, the Oregonian did a cover story that had a photo of one of our animators and posing Coraline in an orchard, and that photo has been carried out throughout, and that was one of mine. USA Today, that was kind of a surprise on the day the movie released. There's a picture of Coraline that I took with my name on there. So I called everybody,
cool.
you know, got on the phone, called Dad, sent emails out to everyone saying, you know, check out USA Today, and then my parents text me back saying, you know, we got 5 copies.
Well, yeah, and that's just for them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So tell me about, you brought Coraline, you brought the kitty.
Yeah. They let me bring a Coraline puppet. This is one of, we had over 20, I want to say like 25 Coraline puppets, and we had, because they had different scenes shooting at different times, and this is basically one of the on-screen puppets in her, we always called it the Explorer costume, that when she goes back into the other world. And this puppet's built on a metal armature that is basically like this, which is a fully articulate, posable, animatable, made from steel, very durable, and then it's covered with the silicone and then the costume and everything. So this is what the Coraline puppet is made out of. So
how long did it take the people that created these to go from this to this? I mean, it's hours and hours, isn't it?
Gosh, yeah, weeks, months. Coraline had a pretty long development time where they just tested materials, tested you know, puppets, and tested sets and locations, technology to make sure that it was going to carry out throughout the entire film. So I know it probably went through about 2 years worth of pre-production, I think roughly 2 years of pre-production, and in that time they started hashing out these concepts, how, you know, at the same time they're figuring out what Coraline's going to look like. I mean, it started out as a sketch on a page. A series of 3 artists did, you know, what became the Coraline, look of Coraline, and then that carried through until when I started, basically the first week they started production was my first day out at Coraline. And so I was there from when they started first shooting the film till, you know, now I'm out there part-time still working on delivering these images to the news medias and stuff like that. So what are you working on now? I mean, is there another film that's coming out from Leica Inc., or are you kind of in a transition phase right now? You know, I wish I could tell you. A lot of people are looking forward to knowing what the next thing is. And I'm lucky I'm still out there working part-time in the marketing department. Like I said, I shot tons and tons of photos during the making of Coraline, and now it's just managing that database and getting it stored and you know, to whoever needs them. So. And you have, Coraline will be coming out on DVD. You have a very large part in the DVD, don't you? Me and one of my coworkers, we did a lot of B-roll footage and the time lapse, you know, the time delay, or shows a mass amount of time in a short amount, interval photography. And we did a lot of that because an animator would spend 2 weeks doing, 10 seconds worth of animation, and that was a good 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so to capture that, we did time lapse, and that's throughout the DVD. I think we actually got to do a commentary on the Blu-ray. Me and my coworker Chris Davis, who did a bunch of time lapse with me, we got to do a little blip on the Blu-ray. So if you get that one, you can hear our voices saying what time lapse is. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of that. And another company also came up and shot a bunch of footage that is the interviews and stuff like that. So we augmented what they were doing. We were there on a day-to-day basis, and they came up on a every couple of months to shoot stuff.
Yeah. How fun was this for you?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was a month out of film school when I got hired on, and it was like a whole new film school. And I was in a great position to, I could sit there and talk to an animator for, 2 hours while I photographed them posing puppets. And so, like, I learned the process of animation. The armature, there's a guy who built a lot of the modifications to the armature. I got to talk to him and figure out how that's done. Coraline's hands are made of silicone. There's silicone experts, people who've been working with silicone, and they're all very fascinating and amazing people. So it was like film school, a second film school in stop motion, and just a lot of fun.
Do you want to continue then in the animation, the stop motion kind of realm?
I would love to. I mean, it's a core group of people. There's not a lot of people in the world doing it. So, and they're all very interesting and a lot of fun to be around. So I would love to. But I also like live action and doing stuff like that. I also shoot, I'm a cinematographer as well, so I shoot, as of right now, a couple of indie films and stuff. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you've got a lot going on. Galvin has agreed graciously to come back when the DVD comes out, and we'll feature more of his work, the stills and things like that. But in the meantime, Coraline.com is where you can find more information, and of course that will tell you when they decide to do the DVD. Domestic distribution was just through. Now they're doing international, and then we'll have the DVD. So it was great to see you again.
It was good seeing you too,
Thank
Chrissy.
you so much.
Right.
Thank you. Right now we're going to take a quick look at our current conditions outside our COTV studios. Before we get into news, we've got fair skies, 27 degrees, humidity is 63%.